What is up, YouTube? It is your boy, Shabby Shambles. We are seeing green in the markets again, despite everything going on. What is happening? What is going on? What is driving this market momentum upward? We're going to dig into it. Remember to like and subscribe and stay tuned. So, we got FTX crashing and burning. We got Twitter, we got Meta, we got Amazon laying people off, and we got green in the market. Not just small, isolated little flecks, but all over the place. All over the place. What's going on? Well, first off, I can tell you that layoffs are a terrible thing for the employees affected. But if you're a company that needs to cut costs, if you're a company that is not producing revenues as strongly as you once did, that is one way to bring the bottom line up because you have less expenses. You're spending less on your employees. Now, that's not the best way to do it, and had they taken steps a year ago, 2 years ago, had they actually had some responsible corporate governance going on during the last bull market, they might have not had to lay off those employees and done those terrible things that they're doing right now. But that's what's happening in the tech sector anyway. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, and it is a beating for those thousands of employees, and my heart goes out to them. But if you're a company that needs to see your stock rise, if you're a company that is beholden to shareholders, that is, unfortunately, how you are going to bring it home for the shareholders in this instance. And I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but that's part of it. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with the CPI data that just came out. Came out last week. It was really good, really encouraging. We're finally starting to see inflation come down. There's sentiment that Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to lower interest rates, maybe even reverse interest rates. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's another video. I still think we're riding off that high. This FTX stuff, this metaverse stuff, all of that is isolated to segments of the market, and we see the CPI data stuff, the CPI information coming out affecting the broader market generally. We see it having effects everywhere. It's the Federal Reserve. It is the last word in monetary policy. It's important. Whichever way they go, whatever they say, whatever data is coming out of there is important. Make no mistake. And I know it's sort of boring. I want these sort of big, bold narratives, right? And having it be, CPI data, having it be, the Federal Reserve, having it be, the interest rates. It's not sexy. That's not a great story, but that's the reality. But at least partly, that's the reality, and you gotta pay attention to it. Something I've said for years is that if you are a farmer, you gotta learn to love shoveling shit. And if you are interested in finance, interested in the stock market, you gotta learn to love, or not love in the past year or so, but at least pay attention to what the Fed's doing, because that drives a lot of this stuff. And if you don't know, now you know, in the words of Biggie Smalls. So that is what it is. Now, let's talk about fun stuff. Let's talk about Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. They took a nosedive last week. They fell off a cliff last week. And I said at the time, don't worry, don't sell. This stock is fine. And I said at the time, hold on to it, hold on to it, hold on to it. And what happened? We're fine. We're above, I think. We're either above or we're at par for where we were before earnings. The company's fine. The company's not just fine. They have a ton of dry powder. that they're looking to deploy whenever they want. Responsible corporate governance in a bear market is not sexy. Responsible corporate governance in a bear market is determined, it is grim, it is not fancy, it is not spectacular, but it is responsible. And that's what gets you through a bear market. And that's what we're seeing at a Palantir right now. And do I think that they are going to reach their all-time highs of $40 tomorrow? No. No, they're not going to get there for a while, but they are still a good company, still growing at an impressive rate, and still looking to do amazing things. There was no reason it should have gone below 7. There was probably no reason it should ever go below 8 again. On to Nvidia. Nvidia. I'm starting to feel like these guys are my enemy, man. I like Nvidia. I like Nvidia stock long term. If it were at a reasonable price, I would buy it. But it's not at a reasonable price. It's up $40 in the past month, and I think that they are going to get absolutely crushed by earnings tomorrow. That is my bet. That is where I would put my money if I had any dry powder sitting on the sidelines, is on Nvidia puts. This is not financial advice. Don't go out buying those things without doing your research, but do your research, you know. I'll look into these guys because they are a good company. Don't get me wrong. They are a good company. There are just problems within the market for semiconductors, for microchips right now, and there are going to be supply chain problems coming out of China. And I've said this for weeks. As you know, if you've been following my videos, that is what I have been saying, and I will continue saying it until I am proven right tomorrow. And that's about it. I mean, I'm starting to feel like Nvidia hates me. I'm starting to feel like I'm making enemies of Nvidia, but you know, I do like the stock. I do like the stock long term. But just in the short and medium term, I think they gotta come down. I think their valuation is way too high. But that's about it. I think the CPI data is still pulling things upward. I think, especially with the news that we've gotten in the last week, I think it's encouraging to see that we can weather that news and still have a good day here or there. Because this FTX stuff was not small. It was not a small thing that happened to them. It was not isolated within FTX and Alameda. It looks pervasive, let's say. And to see that we can still weather that and still say, all right, you know, this FTX stuff is bad and all this and blah blah blah, and still sort of have a green day and still look forward and look bullish is good. I'm really happy to see that. I was worried that FTX would be the straw that broke the camel's back, but it looks as though our camel is going strong, baby. It looks as though our camel is here to stay. Because if we can get through FTX, if we can get through Twitter and Meta and Amazon, all the stuff that has happened this week, and still have a good day and still be looking in the green for the future, I think we're in good shape. I think we might have actually hit the bottom of this thing. And no one can tell the future. I don't know. You don't know. Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't know. Warren Buffett doesn't know. But it is encouraging. And we'll see what the Federal Reserve announces in terms of interest rates going forward. That's important to pay attention to. But until tomorrow, until next time, until we see Nvidia earnings, you know that one's coming. You know I'm coming out tomorrow and talking about Nvidia earnings. Until that time, remember to like and subscribe. I've been Shabby Shambles. Take care.